Stop scrolling right now and stay with this story until the very end because what you are about to hear will completely change the way you see everything you thought you knew, and if you do not want to miss the next shocking reveal, make sure you subscribe and stay locked in because moments like this only unfold right here. It started as a whisper. A small detail that almost no one noticed. A quiet coincidence that quickly grew into something no one could ignore. Late one evening, far from flashing cameras and red carpets, Dylan Wang and Shen Yue were spotted together. Not at an event. Not on a set. Not surrounded by staff. Just the two of them moving carefully through a private space where time seemed to slow down. At first, people thought it was a mistake. Then the photos began to surface. Blurry at first. Taken from a distance. Two familiar silhouettes walking side by side. The way Dylan slowed his steps to match hers. The way Shen Yue leaned slightly closer when she laughed. These were not the movements of strangers. These were the quiet habits of two people who knew each other far too well. Within minutes, speculation exploded. Why were they together? Why now? And why did it look so carefully planned? The answer came in fragments. Sources close to the situation noticed something unusual earlier that week. Dylan had quietly cleared his schedule. No public appearance. No interviews. No sudden explanation. Shen Yue, on the other hand, had been unusually low profile as well. Fans who track every detail noticed the timing lined up perfectly with one important date. A birthday. Not just any birthday. Shen Yue's. Suddenly everything clicked. What fans did not expect was how deeply personal the plan appeared to be. According to those who witnessed the evening, Dylan did not arrive with a crowd. He arrived early. He checked the space himself. Adjusted small details. Spoke softly to staff. There was no rush. No distraction. Only focus. Shen Yue arrived later. The moment she stepped inside and realized what was happening, she froze. The room was simple but intimate. Warm lighting. Soft music. A table set not for show, but for comfort. No grand gestures meant for attention. Just thoughtfulness. She covered her mouth in surprise. Dylan smiled. He told her quietly that some moments should belong only to the people living them. That not everything needs an audience. That this day was hers. What happened next was something no headline could fully capture. They talked for hours. About everything and nothing. About memories fans never saw. About moments they kept private to survive the noise. Shen Yue laughed freely, the kind of laughter that comes from feeling safe. Dylan listened more than he spoke, watching her with an expression that revealed how much this night mattered to him. At one point, Shen Yue asked him why he went through so much trouble. His answer was simple. He said because you deserve a day where the world does not get a vote. Outside, the internet was losing its mind. Fans zoomed into photos. Compared timestamps. Analyzed every detail. Haters rushed to twist the story, but something was different this time. There was no chaos coming from Dylan or Shen Yue. No reaction. No denial. No explanation. Silence. And that silence spoke louder than any statement. Later that night, as they stepped outside together, Dylan placed his jacket gently around Shen Yue's shoulders. Cameras caught that moment. Just that moment. The way she looked up at him. The way he adjusted the jacket without thinking. That single image became everything. Not because it confirmed anything, but because it showed something real. Care. Presence. Intention. The secret birthday plan was never meant to be exposed. It was meant to be remembered by the two people who lived it. But once it surfaced, it revealed a truth fans had felt for years. Some connections do not fade. They evolve quietly, patiently, away from the noise. And whether the world approves or not, some moments will always belong to the people who choose each other when no one is watching. If this story made your heart race and your curiosity grow, stay right here and make sure you subscribe because this is only the beginning and the next chapter is closer than you think. What fans did not see after the secret birthday moment was how deeply that night changed everything. After the quiet celebration ended, Dylan and Shen Yue did not rush to leave. They stayed back, sitting side by side as the space slowly emptied. The music had stopped, the lights dimmed, and the outside world felt very far away. For the first time in a long while, there was no urgency to explain anything to anyone. Shen Yue broke the silence first. She asked him if he ever got tired of carrying everything quietly. The expectations, the pressure, the constant eyes watching every move. Dylan took a moment before answering. He said he used to think strength meant enduring alone. But lately, he was learning that strength could also mean choosing who stands beside you. Those words stayed with her. As they stepped outside later that night, the city lights reflected softly around them. They walked close, not touching at first, but connected in a way that felt natural and familiar. Dylan slowed his pace when Shen Yue did, instinctively matching her steps like he had done so many times before. That was when the first unexpected encounter happened. A small group of fans recognized them from a distance. There was a pause. No screaming. No rushing forward. Just surprise mixed with disbelief. Dylan noticed immediately and stepped slightly in front of Shen Yue, not hiding her, but shielding her space. He nodded politely. Calm. Grounded. The fans did not ask for photos. They simply watched, taking in the moment. Later, those same fans would post online, not with accusations, but with awe. They described how peaceful the two looked together. How natural it felt. That changed the tone online almost instantly. Instead of chaos, conversations shifted. People began asking different questions. Not about scandal. Not about denial. But about timing. Growth. And whether some stories were simply meant to come back around when the moment was right. The next day, subtle details surfaced. Dylan was seen wearing the same bracelet he had not worn in years. Shen Yue reposted a song she once said reminded her of comfort. On their own, these details meant nothing. Together, they spoke volumes to those who had been paying attention for a long time. Still, neither of them addressed the rumors. And that silence was intentional. Behind the scenes, Dylan made a decision that surprised even those closest to him. He adjusted his schedule again. Not to hide, but to create space. Space to think clearly. Space to prioritize what mattered beyond appearances. Shen Yue did the same. When she returned to work, people noticed her energy had shifted. She was lighter, more present. Not because everything was resolved, but because something inside her had settled. One evening, weeks later, Dylan and Shen Yue met again. This time, no birthday. No surprise. Just a quiet walk, away from cameras. Shen Yue asked him directly where he saw things going. Dylan stopped walking. He turned to her and said he was no longer interested in half steps. That whatever path they chose, it had to be honest. Not rushed. Not hidden out of fear. Just real. She listened carefully. Then she smiled and said that honesty was all she ever wanted. That was the moment everything truly aligned. Not because they announced anything. Not because the world approved. But because they were finally choosing clarity over confusion. In the days that followed, the noise slowly faded. New stories took over the headlines. As they always do. But something remained. Fans noticed that whenever Dylan and Shen Yue appeared separately, there was a quiet confidence in both of them. A steadiness that did not need validation. The secret birthday plan had started as a private act of care. It ended as a turning point. Not a reunion defined by chaos, but by intention. And while no official words were ever spoken, one truth became impossible to ignore. Some connections do not need announcements to be real. They reveal themselves in timing, in protection, in the choice to show up when it matters most. If this story made you feel like you witnessed something rare and meaningful, stay right here and keep watching, because stories like this do not end quietly, they evolve.